Will the Bengals take down the Atlanta Falcons on Sunday at Paycor Stadium and improve to 4-3? That's right, they have a chance to have a winning record for the first time this season. We're going to break it down with our keys to victory and a prediction for Sunday's matchup. Hi again, everyone, and welcome in to Cincinnati Bengals Talk. I'm James Rapien of allbengals.com. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, ring the bell, get to Rivertown Inquiry. Well, just because they didn't even pay for that one. And, well, let's dive into this game because it's a huge game to me. I think this is a huge swing game for your Cincinnati Bengals because it can go one of two ways this season. And I've referred to it before, but I've seen some underachieving Bengals teams where expectations were sky high following the 2005 season, where expectations were sky high after 2015, where expectations were sky high after 2009. And those teams never fully recovered from the bad start. And the bad start for this Bengals team was 0-2. And the way to recover from that is to get to 4-3 and have a matchup against a division rival in week 8 on Monday Night Football and handling business there. And then finishing things off in week 9 with a matchup at home against the Carolina Panthers, who are, let's be honest here, rebuilding. So those are the 3 games coming up on the Bengals schedule, starting with this Falcons one. And I'm not overlooking the Falcons by any stretch, but you better believe that if you want to really separate yourselves from all the meh in the league, you got to take care of all 3. And it's because you lost the first 2 games of the season, games that you probably should have won, at least on paper. And can't go back in time, I get that. But look, if the Bengals are going to get to 4-3 and become a winning team for the first time this year, and maybe for the remainder of the year, right? That would be the goal. That would be the hope. It starts on Sunday against Atlanta, and it starts with this offense. Because this defense is banged up right now. Logan Wilson isn't going to play. DJ Reader's still on injured reserve. And I think the team is hopeful about both guys, certainly Wilson, about his ability to potentially play next week. I think they want to protect him from him this week because just watching him on the rehab field, and I chatted with him a little bit on Friday. He full range of motion, full extension, catching passes during full sprints. Like, he's doing a lot. I just think they're trying to make sure, he's 100%. You have an extra day next week as well. Why not get him some treatments and recovery and see if you can win and beat this Atlanta team without Logan Wilson. And so if you're going to do that, it starts on offense, where this offense should be able to move the ball up and down the field against the Falcons defense that has some solid players and a really high-end defensive tackle on Grady Jarrett. And that's the challenge. Can you keep Grady Jarrett at bay? Zach Taylor talking on Friday with us, just some of the beat writers, and he said, look, he reminds me of Geno Atkins. And I agree. It boggled my mind when the Bengals, who had Geno Atkins in his prime, and Grady Jarrett was sitting there in the draft, and he fell in the draft because of his size. He's not huge. He's not big. Fell in the draft, and the Bengals didn't take him. And so it was just one of those where it's like, that's the Geno clone. And I don't think he's prime Geno, but he's close. He's close to what Geno Atkins was as a pass rusher and can certainly be disruptive. And so that's the guy. Don't let him wreck the game. So that's the first key. This offense has got to get going, and you can't let Grady Jarrett, who's really the only one I see that can wreck the game. Not saying other guys on their defense can't make plays, but you're talking about game wreckers, game changers. That's a guy to watch in Grady Jarrett. Number 2, and we'll go to defense, is stopping the run, or at least slowing it down, because you're probably not going to stop it with DJ Reader out. You're not going to stop it with Logan Wilson out, but can you slow it down? I was talking to a veteran in the locker room this week. He's like, hey, we know they're going to run the ball. All of these teams are going to run the ball that we got coming up. And it starts against this Falcons team that runs it in some unique ways. I mean, Marcus Mariota is mobile and he's athletic, and they'll run him. They have a running back by committee type of room right now, especially with Cordero Patterson on injured reserve. And so if the offense gets going early, I think that will take a little pressure off of the defense, but the Falcons have shown throughout their time this season that they'll run down 3 scores. I mean, that's just how they're built. Even though they have Drake London, the 8th overall pick, and the former 4th overall pick, Kyle Pitts, it's not like they're going to air it out and throw it 55 times. And so this defense has to stop the run. Naturally, turning the ball over or forcing turnovers, that comes into play. I think that the week 6 matchup against the Saints, if Trent Taylor does not fumble that ball, the entire game shifts. The entire game is different, and the Bengals probably win in less nail-biting, thrilling fashion because the offense got going early. And if the offense is going to get going early and the defense isn't, going to give up a bunch of touchdowns, which this defense did a good job of even last week, even though they couldn't get off the field, then you're in a good spot. So turnovers, always a key. But the first two, outside of a basic key like turnovers, one, the offense has to get going early, keep Grady, Jarrett at bay. 2, this defense has to stop the run. And then 3, let's go back to the offense. Be ready to adjust to whether it's the deep zone that the Falcons could potentially play, whether it's some kind of unique defensive scheme to slow down the RPOs that worked like a charm last week for the Bengals, because you're going to have to adjust. And so being able to adjust on the fly and not taking 2 quarters to do it, that's important, because this offense, it's time for it to take flight. It's time for it to hit that next level and get to an area where we're talking about them as one of the elite offenses in the NFL. T. Higgins is off the injury report. Jamar Chase is going to play. That's why I didn't even mention it at the top of the video, because, yeah, he was dealing with a little bit of a hip thing. That was more maintenance than anything, trying to get all that soreness out of there. So he's good to go. Alex Kappa, good to go. So this offense should be firing on all cylinders on Sunday in front of a home crowd. And before I give you my prediction, do you think the Bengals are going to win? What's your prediction? Well, if you think they're going to win, or maybe you don't think they're going to win, you need to get to MyBookie, because right now at mybookie.ag, you're going to get a double deposit bonus. That's right, double deposit bonus. You go to MyBookie, you use promo code BengalsTalk, and if you deposit $100, you're going to get $100. If you deposit $500, you're going to get $500, all the way up to $1,000. So if you think the Bengals are going to win, why not go to MyBookie, use promo code BengalsTalk, deposit any amount up to $1,000. They'll match it with promo code BengalsTalk. And then you can wager on the Bengals, who are 6.5-point favorites right now over the Falcons at home. It's a 47.5-point line, 47.5-point spread. Maybe you don't want to wager on the NFL, because you can wager on any game this week. Or maybe you want to go the college football route or the NBA route or the Major League Baseball playoffs route. MyBookie has something for everybody. So go there now. MyBookie.ag, promo code BengalsTalk. All right, let's get into my prediction here, because I think this game is going to be close. It feels like it's going to be sort of like last week, where the Bengals offense is going, but the defense just can't really get off the field. We'll see who they promote on Saturday. I'll promote it and talk about it here on Sunday morning, whether it's Tyler Shelvin or Khalid Kareem in that defensive tackle spot, but they're thin on the interior of their defensive line. And I think that's going to matter, right? Not having Logan Wilson's one thing, but not having the beef up front that you need to stop the run, that's another. Regardless, size sometimes matters in football, no matter what the heart is or the effort or anything like that. And so I think that's going to play a role in this game. I also think that Joe Burrow has turned a corner here. And I think he's doing a play at a really, really high level against the Falcons defense that has certainly had its issues. So I'm taking the Bengals. It's going to be close. I think it's going to be closer than people expect. But give me Cincinnati 27-23. Close game, maybe not too close. Like, I don't know if it'll ever be in doubt like last week was, where it was certainly in doubt. They're at home. I think they can control this game, and you're never going to be really concerned about the outcome, but you're also not going to be blown away where it's a 30-13 type of game. So we'll see if I'm right. That's what I got, 27-23. Make sure you leave your predictions below in the comments. Make sure you like this video, subscribe, ring the bell, and check out all of our content this week. I mean, Joe's show, the Bengals on the Brain with Joe Goodberry, the OT with Elise Jesse on Thursday night. If you missed that, it was great with Mo Egger. Tuesday night with Joe, it's you've had more time to catch up with on that. So hopefully you have. If not, make sure you check it out, because he broke down the film and discussed this Bengals offense and talked about different things that they've done to evolve. And it's really good stuff. It is. And it's an exciting time right now for the Bengals as they try to get back to over 500 for the first time this season, which is wild to say. I didn't expect it, Didn't expect to be saying this, going into week 7, but here we are. By the way, we're going to be there on Sunday at Paycor Stadium covering the game with our pregame stand-up, our postgame coverage, including reaction from Joe Burrow, Zach Taylor, Jamar Chase, and more. So like I said, subscribe, ring the bell. And for Andrew Fox Miller, our channel coordinator, who's going to be mad that I talk so long in the prediction video. Talk. I'm James Rapien, signing off for now, right here on CBT, Cincinnati Bengals Talk.